Oh, this is an interesting one. I've just seen what I'm actually talking about today. Here's what I'm talking about today. We are talking about poor mental health potentially being contagious. If you are a parent or a teacher, here's what I want you to consider. Maybe, just maybe, your own possibly negative, possibly dysfunctional psychological state could be picked up from the young people that you interact with like a contagious disease and begin to affect them too. Now, don't switch off just yet. I haven't lost my mind. There's a few different ways in which I can support this theory. Number one, let's get the weird abstract one out of the way, is for those of you that are parents, how's about this for an idea? How about inherited memory? Is it a thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. But I certainly think if we can inherit other people's genetic code for our physical body, perhaps we can also inherit their genetic code for things like memories, experiences, worries, fears, anxieties. So is it a good idea for you as a parent to get your mental, or a potential parent, those of you that are preggers or planning on being, is it a good idea for you to get your own mental health ship shape before you start raising and influencing young people? Yes, on that basis, I think it jolly well is a good idea. Here's the other theory on it though, probably a slightly more easy to digest theory. The other theory is that children learn by modelling. So you've heard, I'm sure, the saying, monkey see, monkey do. That's kind of how children learn. I've probably mentioned it before. Children have in their mind something that we refer to as mirror neurons. And a mirror neuron is basically within your mind, or within their mind, the way that they learn is by seeing what you do and then reflecting it back into themselves. Now, you might be at this point in time saying, no, Gemma, there is no way that my own mental and emotional state is affecting my child, is affecting the children in my class, is affecting the young people that I teach and influence. No, because I am a master at wrapping this thing up and keeping it inside. No one would ever know how I'm thinking and feeling. I've got this disguise thing down. Well, listen to me. You might think that you've nailed it, but the chances are you probably haven't, because stuff leaks out. Stuff leaks out, particularly of our physiology, in the little changes in the intonation in our voice. Now, let me give you an example of proof that this is a real thing. I'm not going to give you the exact case study, but let's say that there was a parent who brought his son to see me because his son had a fear of dogs. It wasn't dogs, but I'm just going to use that as the example. So the boy had this tremendous crippling fear of dogs. And the parent spoke to me privately and said, listen, I have a very bad fear of dogs too. Now, I've learned to manage it so I don't completely freak out, and I have never, ever displayed any fear whatsoever in front of my son. So there is no way that his fear of dogs has come from my fear of dogs, because I've never demonstrated it, I've never talked about it, and I've never given off any clues of any sense of fear when I'm around a dog. Come on. I mean, you think I was born this morning? If that child hasn't picked up on it by something that's been said somewhere along the lines, then they have picked this up from noticing the tiniest changes in that parent's physical body, their intonation, a small little flicker in their eye, has given off this warning signal whenever they've come into contact with dogs with their parent there. Modelling is something we talk about a lot in NLP. And modelling is basically the process by which we observe someone who has a set of skills that we would desire. And we watch everything about them, and we hear everything that they're saying, and we probe into the ways in which they think. And as a result of getting down their strategy, getting their individual pieces of their jigsaw puzzle that makes up who they are when they're doing the thing that we want to be able to do and steal from them. When we do that, there are so many intricate bits of detail that we can tune into in order to be able to steal that useful behaviour that somebody has. But children do this naturally. Like it's hardwired into them to learn in that same way. The only difference is they might not always pick up the good stuff. They're going to pick up the bad bits too. So for this reason, I encourage you, heavily encourage you, if you are a parent who is interacting or soon to be interacting with a new human life, get your head straight. If you are a teacher or an influencer of young people and you've got your own anxieties going on in your mind, get those seen to. Because if you don't, then at some point in time, in some way, those behaviours will begin to exhibit themselves to the young people in your lives. And if they do not point it out to you and probe you about it and draw your attention to it in an embarrassing way, then the chances are they will pick it up unconsciously and begin to replicate it within themselves. I have been in situations where a teacher has told me that many people in her class are behaving in erratic, anxious, chaotic ways. And when I have then spoken to that teacher on a one-to-one basis, I have not been surprised to discover that she herself is experiencing some historic mental images and experiences that caused her to be anxious and chaotic in her own life. And even though those things may have happened years and years and years ago, they are still influencing how she is interacting now. So if that can happen in that kind of an environment, imagine how much more impactful it is when it's between a parent and a child who sometimes seem to transfer messages to each other as if by osmosis, or some kind of psychiatric, not the word, psychic kind of intuition that they have between each other. It's really important that if we want to bring up a generation of young people now with good mental health, that the people who teach them and influence them have got their own mental health sorted out first. So that is my message to you for this month. If you like this video and you thought, there's something in that, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Ensure that you are subscribed to the channel by clicking the red subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I love that you do. Leave me a comment in the box below if you found something in this that was helpful to you, and I will speak to you all again next month. Bye.